Hey, it's Josefa Salinas from Old School 1047, and I got the one and only Connie Breeze with me. What's up, girl?
Hey, it's great to see your face. How are you?
I am so good, and it's so good to be together. I mean, we're finally launching this podcast that we talked about, and every week we're going to have different subjects, and we're going to figure out how to let the listeners come on in. But for today, we're just going to chop it up a little bit, you and me. And I think the question we said we were going to talk about today is, what are we looking for in a guy? Somebody asked me the other day if I wanted a boyfriend. And I mean, I looked at her honestly and said, "You know what? Not really." And I said, "It's not that I don't want somebody in my life. I don't know what I'm looking for." It has changed from what I wanted even 5 years ago.
That's really
And
good to know. That's good
yeah,
to know.
and so I there's no way. I mean, nobody asks me out anyways. But let's say assume that I did want to date. Um, I'm not really sure what I'm looking for. I mean, at least I haven't met him. That's for
Do you
sure.
know what you're not looking for?
I know, no, I know what I'm looking for as far as characteristics go. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Mm-hmm.
you got to have a job. He has to be able to carry his own weight. Um, he needs to understand what romance is, because I think that we've lost romance in this life of everything is so instantaneous.
Mm-hmm.
There's no anticipation of anything. I want somebody to appreciate that I'm sending them something in the mail
Yeah.
so that they anticipate getting it, because we've removed all anticipation in life, because everything is right away. You don't have to wonder if somebody's going to call you, because they're going to text you right away. You don't have to wonder what your friends are up to. All you got to do is look on their Facebook page. So why bother calling them? You
I
already know what
know.
they did.
And I don't like that. That bothers me so much. And what about, like, don't you just getting a note in the mail? Don't
Oh
you
yeah.
love, even if it's a guy like thinking of you, you know?
Yep. Yep. And there's something to be said for the handwritten note. So call me
Yes.
old school, call me whatever you like. Um, that means that somebody actually took the time to sit down with a pen or pencil, whatever they're writing with, and put some thoughts down on a piece of paper. And you can look at
Yes.
all the research and see that when you actually write something down on a piece of paper, it processes totally different in your mind than if you typed it on a computer or text it to someone. And that's why I think
Yes.
there's so many meaningless relationships, because the majority of them are done on a computer or with a text.
And I don't want an emoji. Even when, like, it tends to be more with my guy friends. Like, I'll send my girlfriend something like, "Hey, I'll meet you at 6 o'clock," and they'll say, "Okay, girl." A guy, I want a thumbs up. You
Right.
know, I
Right.
mean, that's how it's gotten. I think also when you're writing something and you look at it, you get to go, "Oh, that's not what I want to say. This is what I want to say."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's more of a response than a reaction.
Right. Yeah. And so much, I think, um, well, I mean, even in a written letter, it's still up to the interpretation of the person reading it. There's nothing beats picking up the phone call. But I know for me, a lot of times I don't pick up the phone and call someone, because I know they're probably as busy as I am. And so I don't want to interrupt them, or, have them have to stop what they're doing. So I figure, oh, well, when they're not busy, they'll call me. But then they could be on the other end thinking the exact same thing. Like, well, she's really busy. So I guess she'll let me know when she's not busy. And then you got two people who are never talking to each other because they
Except
always think the other one is busy.
But you're really great with text, though, in that respect, because you'll say, "Hey, girl, thinking of you, want to talk to you for a minute. Let me know when you get a minute." That's where I think text comes in
Right.
useful.
Yeah. Yeah. That then, the person can either say, "Hey, I'm really busy today. Let's talk tomorrow." But I think it's that setting that appointment to talk
Hmm.
and making sure that you follow through with it. So I guess that's important to me, that somebody understands that about me, that I'm very old fashioned when it comes to romance and love and relationships. I'm not a modern girl when it comes to that. I am straight up old school when it comes to love and romance. And
Absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
have to have it. And if you're in for, wham bam, thank you, ma'am, keep stepping, because probably a couple chairs down, you're gonna find that it's not here.
And I don't put my personal life, except like, maybe like my husband, his son, and I were having a great time here. I don't put my stuff on Facebook, and I know you don't either.
Yeah, not a lot. I mean, I do for, stuff that I'm doing in the community, or
Mm-hmm.
if it's something really cool that I think somebody might enjoy, I'll
Right.
put that up. But I'm not one to record my every moment.
No. Or
Yeah.
if you think it can help someone else, you'll post it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. But
Yeah.
I think I don't know what he looks like. I used to know what he looked like. I had a
Mm-hmm.
perfect picture in my mind of what the guy I wanted looked like. And now I don't know anymore. I'm not so sure, because if there's one thing I have found out for sure, is that looks really don't mean a whole lot.
Right.
They
Like,
don't.
I don't have a type. Do you have a type? I don't have a type. I mean, I
I,
don't have a height, a weight, a color, a shape, a size, none of that.
no, I mean, he's got more than likely he's going to be taller than me,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm a pretty athletic person, and I like to run, jump, skip, hop. And so that person's got to be able to do those things too, because that's what I like to do. So I mean, in that respect, there's some type to that. But I think women are getting a little um frustrated with men's demands of women looking like Barbie dolls or the girl in the magazine, when they don't really understand. Man, you run into that girl at Starbucks at 6 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, you won't even recognize her, because she won't have her eyelashes on, she won't have her hair on, she won't have her makeup on, she won't have her lips done, and she'll just be in some sweats. You'll walk right past her probably. And
And
so
she might not be a nice person.
right. And
Someone at the street entrance hacienda.
I wonder sometimes if that's part of the problem. The problem of um, what's wrong with relationships.
I read an article today that said men are really attracted to really attractive women to date, but they feel like they're the ones who would cheat on them. So that's not who they go after to marry. It was just that there's dating. So there's dating, and then there's relationshiping. And I have found there's a trade-off in everything. And
Mhm.
so can you be with the trade-off? Does the value of the relationship allow for the trade-offs? I can say yes in
Uh-huh.
mine,
Right.
because I've been with someone for 8 years. Now
Uh-huh.
it looks nothing like what we thought it would,
Right.
and he has seizures. So I've been in every ambulance waiting room, he didn't have them when we first met, but the kinship and the friendship and the love and the relationship is worth the trade-off of what we have to do to keep him healthy and up to date.
Right.
Right. He
Right.
couldn't work during the pandemic. He's a singer, but I could. But he cleans the house, feeds the animals, takes care of me, cooks every meal.
Yeah. Well, see, that's a balance. And I think for me, because I haven't been in a relationship since December of 2005. That's how long it's been since I was in a relationship.
Mhm.
And I think for me, I want a friend. I'm looking for
Yes.
somebody to kick it with. I'm looking for somebody that'll meet me, because I walk, early in the morning. Meet me. Let's watch sunrise together while we're walking. I'll watch football games with you. I'll watch the playoffs in baseball. I'm not a big baseball fan, but I will watch the playoffs. I watch the playoffs in basketball. Not a big basketball fan, but I will watch it. But I like to read. I like to write. I like to go to the beach and watch the sunset. I like to go to the mountaintop and watch the sunrise. But I'm totally fine doing all that by myself, or with my homegirls sometimes. but
Right.
it'd be really nice to have a guy who is a great friend who knows how to appreciate that. And I wish more men knew how to be friends and understand how important a friendship is first before you move on to anything else. How could you
Mm.
possibly want to sleep with me when you have no idea what makes me smile?
Mhm. Mhm. Yes, you have to have the same mission, morals, principles before personalities. And, you know, we always heard our parents say, oh, it's so important you end up with your best friend, but it's really true.
Yeah, it is because eventually that friendship is going to be what carries you through. It
Absolutely.
is. It
Yeah.
absolutely is.
Yep.
You know?
I wouldn't have been in the pandemic with anybody but Reggie. We didn't have one fight,
Yeah.
you know, because we go to our own rooms, then we come back together, then, and for you too, I think what's important, because it's been important for me, is Josefa, go do your thing, host your thing, have a ball when you get.
Right. You
Yeah.
know, and right, exactly. Or if I want you to come along, come along.
Right,
And be there. But,
right.
people don't always wanna do that, and I understand that. I don't want somebody up under me at all times because I'm like, "You got be secure enough to have your fun and be with your friends. I'll be with my friends. Let's get together and do some things. Let's be together. We could be in the same house and not be up under each other, but then maybe there's a night where we're snuggled up on the couch watching something on TV, binge watching some TV show. It's just finding that balance and finding that person, but I tell you what, the hardest thing is knowing where you even go to meet guys anymore. People say,
Right.
"Oh, go to church." I'm like, I don't think so. I don't think that that's the place anymore. But I think that'll be our next conversation, and hopefully we can invite some listeners in. Where do you go to meet a guy?
Good one. Maybe we'll get some suggestions.
Well, Connie, it's been great talking with you today, sister, and I can't wait for our next conversation.
Always great, sister. I love being with you.